What's going on? What's going on to all my embracers out there? This is Grace from Embrace the Grace, and we got a good one tonight. It's gonna get saucy. So I don't know what kind of night we was gonna have. So I got my coffee, I got some water, and I got some a cooler because it could go either way. I just want to be ready so I don't have to get ready. So if anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Grace from Embrace the Grace. And this is a place where we have the uncomfortable conversations. This is a place where we embrace the truth. My truth, your truth, everybody's truth. And it's okay to have the awkward conversations. We have to stop sweeping shit under the rug because things need to be addressed. So sit back. Hopefully, you guys got a snack because it's going to be a good one. So, what are we talking about tonight? I put it all over social media today, and I felt that this was a spin-off from my last podcast about the single mother epidemic. And one of the consequences that you may have to go through when you do end up having a child and don't marry that your father's child or mother, you're going to have to deal with blended families. You're going to have to deal with stepmoms and stepdads. And because anybody who knows me and it's on my side and has gotten to know me and watch my shows, I am an advocate for men. So I'm really speaking for the stepdads right now because I really don't think that stepdads and stepmoms get enough credit. It's a shitty position. There's not really a win-win situation with this. We do a lot of the work. And when I say we, it's because I have been in that position. I have one biological son, but I helped raise three sons that weren't mine. So I have been in this position. And just a quick disclaimer, everybody out there, I am not a licensed therapist. I'm not a licensed psychiatrist, but I am an expert in life and experience. And I'm just out here trying to open people's minds, hearts, and eyes of things that need to be discussed and that are necessary because we need change. Obviously, what's going on in today's world is not good. So everybody that's come in, I really appreciate it. First thing I need you to do, of course, is press that like button. Press that like button. I've already put in the link. So whenever anybody feels comfortable to come up here and get on the panel and talk to me, I welcome it. Just make sure we keep it respectful. No sign language, no shame, insult, guilt, or the need to be right. We're here to discuss. We respect each other. And if you don't agree, you disagree. You agree to disagree respectfully. Okay? But at least we have dialogue, and that's one of the biggest issues. That's one of the biggest things that I would like to start having those dialogues, because let me tell you something, guys. Almost 1/3 of all children in the United States live in a step family or blended family, the Brady Bunch, before they turn 18. And it's the fastest growing type of family unit. 13% of adults are step parents, 29 to 30 million, and 15% are men. 15% are men. So figure that out. You guys, I got to tell you something. It's not easy being a step parent. It's not. Because you're doing everything for that child. You end up falling in love with that child as if that child was yours. Okay? And a stepdad is a man who made the choice to love another man's child as their own. Let me go ahead and get Mr. Gary D on here. He has already popped up and ready to come on board. How you doing, Mr. Gary D?
Hey Grace, how you doing? I'm good. I'm
Thank,
good.
thank you so much for once again joining me. I really do appreciate the support and your input and your feedback, because it's very important that it's just not me up here talking. I need backup, whether it's to disagree or to agree. but
Right, right, right.
it shows dialogue and it shows conversation, and that's the first step to a to solving or any type of resolution is to acknowledge and communication. So before we get started, Gary, let people know who you are, let people know where we can find you so they can go ahead and see your greatness like I do.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gary D. D is short for my last name, which is Delamoth. I am the president of Boardwalk Global Media, which is a multimedia entertainment company. We do podcasts. We have some film projects, music projects, um, and a couple other things happening. I also have my own company, which is ESI Global Group, which is a management and consulting company, and I represent an artist from Australia by the name of Baba T. I've probably seen him around on YouTube, Facebook, and stuff like that. So he's one of the upcoming guys that you'll be seeing more of in the coming year. I've been in the entertainment industry about 30 years. My other background is that I worked on Wall Street for about five years. And in relation to some of the topics that Grace talks about, I mean, I have life experience just like everybody else. Ironically, for this topic, I do come from a step family, so I definitely understand and I could talk about it. And I know other situations about that too. Um, and that's about it. So thank you, Grace, for definitely having
Absolutely.
me here again.
Awesomeness. So let me go ahead and get these comments out real quick. So I have here Mookie. That's my baby girl. That's my goddaughter. And
Okay.
she says, I can't wait to hear for this topic. And she's my goddaughter through my best friend, who he was a step parent to her. So she lived it. So I actually gave her a direct invite to come up in here and listen to this and give any input. So Mookie, if you want to just click that link and talk your talk, you're welcome to. You don't have to be on camera, or you can just be in the chat group. I do not pressure anybody. I want things to be willfully given and talked about. And then Gary said, good topic. And you see, Gary, I didn't even know that you came from a blended family. So you see, it always works out with us. So perfect. Yeah. And then I got Joseph, who said this is a great topic. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate it. So now, Gary, I think I kind of perfected my video sharing.
Okay.
I did a different way from what I did last week. So
Okay.
there's a video that I'm going to start off with that kind of shows the messed up side of step parenting. And this is why it's so important, because I'm trying to open the minds, hearts, and eyes of women. They need to understand that when they made the choice to not marry their child's father, that this is one of the repercussions of meeting another man and having him come in the house, and they were going to help them raise their children. But the thing is that we as women, we need to be humble and grateful, because again, it says here, a stepdad is a man who made the choice to love another man's child as their own. He was the one that has stepped up to provide, protect, encourage, and love. This is something he didn't have to do, but he chose to do because he loves you. And I've seen a lot of women who don't appreciate step parents, who are not humble. They take these men, and I just don't want to throw the men in, because I myself was a stepmother for many, many, many years. We don't get appreciated. We don't do it for clout. But damn, there's sometimes that we don't get credit for nothing, Gary. We do all the work, but you don't get credit. And then when it comes with stepdad or step parent, they may not have given that child life, but we gave the gift of ourselves. We gave our time, our love, our resources. I mean, sometimes we do things that the own other biological parent wouldn't do. And
Very true.
my goal is to appreciate us a little bit more. Be humble. If a man or a woman is willing to love you and your children, be humble. And this is the opposite. This video that I'm about to show is the absolute opposite. So we're gonna try it, Gary. So let's do this. Okay, so we go here, here, we go here, and then we go here, and okay, we go share.
Right now. I want to know what's and then when he ain't going nowhere. That's my son. That's my only son.
At some point, you got to go.
Never no time.
I mean, at some point,
never no time.
Man.
Never no time.
Tell me, Christian.
Tell
well,
I'm about. I told you ain't going no damn where. You go when you get ready.
Man, I just feel at some point you need to make your own way. That's what I I be want to walk through the house naked sometime, and there you go. So I mean, what
No, if anything, you can go, not him. How about that?
I want to pay all the fucking bills in here. You gonna tell me where
why do I gotta this my mama's house? Like, why do I gotta leave my mama's house?
Period.
Man, you damn near 40 years old. Damn near it's time to go. I mean, at what point?
I'm 29 now.
Well, that's pretty 10
but
years
you know
away.
what? When I met you was living with your mama.
Man, please.
You
I was
living
in
with
and out. Come
you
on,
was
man.
living with your mama.
I
now
was only 22 years old.
Now you gonna tell me.
I'm not getting out.
Man,
I'm
he
not
has
going
to
nowhere.
go.
I'm not going nowhere.
He has to
Mama
go.
house.
Well,
and you ain't gotta go nowhere.
You know what? Damn it, they ain't gonna pay no bills either. Then, damn it. Now, how you feel about that? You don't want him to go? I won't pay the bills. But he
take the
got to go. We arguing and stuff about stuff.
But at the end of the day, all you gotta do is tell me to help. I ain't saying nothing. Like,
man, you grown ass man. You supposed to know the man. I was supposed to take this up. Come on, I'll tell you this stuff, man.
But the thing is, I'm barely here. Barely making garbage, so why I gotta take over here? If I'm barely here, barely making garbage, barely making dishes, like why I gotta do anything?
She gonna always make excuses for you, man. But
right, he don't even be here. So what? Come here.
Well, when he's here,
and then he don't
needs to
business
help
the rest
out.
of the day.
When he's here, he needs to help out. He needs to do some things. He
Well,
needs to
I tell
be
you what.
productive.
He ain't paying no bill.
My mama out.
Because I ain't paying no bill.
Okay, so you watched the video, right?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay, good. Okay, so this is a perfect example. Let me tell you all the things that's wrong with this. First of all, that woman is disrespecting that man in front of the son, knowing that man pays all the bills. The kid, well, he's not even a kid. This is a grown man, 29 years old. And I hate to put it this way, but I gotta put it this way, still on his mama nipple.
Well, it's true.
Come on, man. When are we? This is why these past 2-3 generations of kids are so soft, are so self-entitled, so self-absorbed. 29 years old and you don't know to take the trash out when the trash is full. And look at his excuse. Oh, I'm barely here. I barely make trash. This kid, one, shouldn't even have a key to the house. Like the man said, maybe I want to walk around naked one day, but he can't. In his own house that he pays bills because his son can come and go whenever he pleases. So now this mother is creating the same type of men that I hear women talking about. Men ain't shit. These men nowadays ain't shit. They don't know how to be men. How are they going to be men if you got a mama crippling a 29-year-old like that? And the stepfather is trying to tell her, hey, come on. So let's do something about it. Oh, I have Miss Cynthia Bell up here who wants to join us. Hold on one second. Let's see. while she comes on, I have to tell you about Miss Cynthia Bell. Miss Cynthia Bell is one of the most best playwriters I've ever met. And she gave me the opportunity to be in 2 of her plays.
Okay.
The first one was a supporting cast. And then the second one, I guess she found to have so much confidence in me that she gave me the leading role. And ever since I've met her, I have been in love with her because I have learned so much with her. She has given me the opportunity to do a dream that I've always wanted to, and that's acting. You're not coming in, Miss Bell. I'm going to remove you and then come back in, okay? It might be something from the internet. So hold on 1 second. And we'll try again, Miss Bell. So she has her own YouTube channel. I'm gonna allow her to introduce herself. And when I saw her YouTube channel, I was so inspired, and I said, look, we got to collaborate because you're still out here doing great things. So while we're doing that, I'm gonna read some comments. I got my girl Sheba clapping it up. She's always here to support. Make sure you guys press that like button. Okay, and then I got my other queen here. Well, her name is Iolani, but I know her by Lonnie. So thank you for coming. I appreciate that. Press that like button, like and subscribe. And then I got Joseph said, the mother is allowing the grown man to act like a child in her home, shaking my head. And you're absolutely right. And this is why these little boys become grown boys. So Gary, what do you think about that video you saw?
Oh man, definitely, quite a few. There's a number of things wrong, but I mean, I think that when you are getting into a step family situation, it's like you have to have the real conversation, right? And if you're bringing children, whether it's young children or adult children or teenage children, you have to have the real conversation with your partner, because if this is going to be a team effort or a new family effort, then everybody has to be on the same page.
Absolutely.
I think that video is a perfect example of no communication. Like that, clearly the husband and the wife, or the I guess the wife and the new dad, or the stepdad didn't have the real conversation before or even in the beginning of them getting into this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, look, I got a 20-year-old son or a 25-year-old son, or an adult daughter. Here's the deal. The real conversation. Nobody has that anymore, right? Because if people would have the real conversations, none of this stuff would be happening. None of this would be happening. And I think that video is a perfect example of that. And here it is, a man who's being a man, doing what he's supposed to do, and his lady is, defending her son, which I understand that to a point. But when you're in a new household and this is your new partner, and he's taking the responsibility to not only love you but your son and raise and take care of y'all as a family, like, where is the respect?
Absolutely.
Like, that's out the window.
Exactly. So now I do have Miss Cynthia Bell up here. Unmute yourself, Miss Bell. Can you unmute yourself? Or maybe I could do it. Unmute mic. Can you hear me? Miss Bell, are you there? Something's going on with her internet. We'll let her try to work it out. And you're absolutely right, Gary. And I realized something about you and I when I'm on your podcast or you're on my podcast. We are both big on communication.
Absolutely.
A lot of the things can be avoided if we communicate. But people want to talk after the fact, and it's too late then. Okay. And it's funny that you bring that up because I have something that I researched, and it says here, ladies, you are really the key person in this family unit to either be a pleasant, thriving, loving environment for your children. And you know why? You know your man best, or your woman. You know your kids best. And of course, you know your ex or your baby daddy or your baby mama best, because their influence, you know their influence, their strengths, and their weakness. So it's really up to the biological parent to set up the family unit correctly.
Yeah,
You can't
absolutely.
have these conversations after the fact.
No, you can.
You know, and then what kills me is you allow the man to pay all the bills, you allow the man to be the man, but now when it comes to your children, it's like, no, those are my kids. Oh, those are my kids, but those weren't your kids. It's our kids when I feed him, when I house them, or I clothe them, or I take them to practice, or I pick them up from daycare, or I take them to the movies. But when it's time to discipline, see, this is what this is about. We need to allow the step parent to be part of this discipline process. Now, guys, before we all go crazy here, I'm not only speaking about ass whoopings. You know, I know you guys saw my thumbnail, but I needed to use that thumbnail because that's what was going to bring y'all attention. But there's so many forms of discipline. Do I believe in ass whoopings? Yeah, I do. I do. Because that's old school. That's the problem with a lot of these kids today. And I have to admit, even my kid, you know, hold on one second. She's trying to come back on. Let's see if we could get Miss Cynthia back on. You there, my dear? She's trying. She's trying.
Okay.
And then I got my dear friend Alton Brown in the house. He is my credit repair specialist coach. So we are going to have a show coming up very, very soon about credit repair, because it's important. It's income tax time.
That's right.
And I want people to make smart decisions with their money instead of buying bundles and Jordans. You know, let's fix our credit. But we already kind of discussed this, and he's going to be on the other side of the spectrum. Here, he's already starting in with me. Don't put your hands on my kid. Okay, Mr. Brown, I get it. But I'm not just talking about whooping butt. There's a lot of forms of discipline. Am I going to be allowed to take your child's phone away if he's been acting up while you're at work? And you be okay with that? Am I okay to put him on timeout while I'm with your son or daughter while you're at work? I mean, again, like me and Gary was talking about, these are things that need to be discussed.
That's right.
It's up to the biological parent. Like I saw a podcast today, and I always have to give him a shout out because he be out here on these YouTube streets trying to do the same thing that we all are. And why can't grown men and grown women just have a conversation and everybody talk? The new step parents, the biological parents, and everybody can agree on how things are going to be handled. So when things do come up, we already know what to do. And again, Gary, it goes back to the same old communication.
Right. I mean, I think, yeah, it's, you know, if everyone's supposed to be mature adults, then mature adults supposed to act like mature adults. Now, look, you know, again, when you're getting into this type of family unit, you know, the ideal thing is to maybe have I guess in this particular case, if there was the opportunity where the biological dad and the stepdad and the mom could have a conversation or discussion about discipline, right? Because, you know, some of these kids now it's like, oh, well, you're not my dad or you're not my mom, right? So because they feel that they're either their biological dad or biological mom is going to let them get away with stuff. And any responsible man or any responsible woman that comes into a situation where they're either the stepmom or the stepdad, then that conversation should be the real conversation. That should be part of the real conversation in disciplining. Like, it shouldn't be after the fact. You know, when you're going into this situation, you want to know, what are you dealing with? I mean, hell, if you're getting into a relationship with someone and it comes up that, hey, I got, teenage kids and here's the deal. And as y'all get to know each other, I mean, is if we get more serious, is me disciplining your child going to be a problem? Right? Because that alone could be a deal breaker. Like, I'm not going to have no woman's crazy kid running through my house, and then I tried to discipline him and she wants to get upset. Like, that's not going to work.
And I totally agree with you. The role of discipline needs to be discussed.
Yes.
Both parents need to be on the same page at all costs, especially in front of the child. You can't undermine a man and take his manhood away in front of the children and then expect the children to respect that man. And that's a mistake that a lot of us ladies do, and we need to stop it. We really do. We really do need to stop it, because we need to walk around grateful and humble that that man is willing to clean up y'all raggedy ass mess that you did. No, because I gotta put it like that. You know, it's when I touch nerves, is when I get, a reaction. Here's a man, and I'm gonna use this word, and I know a lot of women don't like it, but I don't care, because I'm embracing this. Here's a man or a woman that's willing to come in and take care of your bastard child.
Okay.
And you giving him lip, and you disrespecting them instead of being humble and grateful. I mean, I'm not saying you got to kiss his butt or anything, but come on, man. Come on. If you have a problem with something, you go behind closed doors. Miss Cynthia, I see you. You have to unmute yourself. Touch the little microphone and unmute yourself, and then we can probably hear you. Can you see me? Can you see me? She's trying. God bless her heart, but that's okay. At least she's here, and that's all that matters. And anybody that's here right now, I gotta say, please press the like button, subscribe, and share. And as you know, well, maybe you guys don't know, but Gary knows, Cynthia knows, and anybody who's a podcaster, this takes a lot of work. This takes a lot of time from us. So I do have my Cash App down there. If you want to support the channel, I would appreciate it, because at the end of the day, it's not cheap buying equipment, time and effort. And I want to upgrade it. I'm building this plane as I fly it, guys. And everybody on the plane, just put your seatbelt on and hold on. Miss Cynthia, okay, you're finally off mute. Can you hear us? Okay, now you're not frozen, but you're still on mute. Press the little microphone and unmute yourself. It's okay. It's okay. We're building this plane as we're flying, and you just strap on your seatbelt. This is Soul Plane right now. Okay, so I got Alton. Let's see what he's got to say. He said, you should not bring no woman or no man around your son or daughter if you are not planning on marrying them. If you are my wife, you can discipline them. If you are my girlfriend, I don't know. Well, that's a great point, because I'm actually talking about families where I'm not talking about fly-by boyfriends or girlfriends. I'm talking about relationships where somebody moved into the house and marriage is on the way. This is the kind of relationship that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the women that bring different guys every other week. Those don't count, Alton. I'm talking about serious I can even understand girlfriends. But if the girlfriend is going to turn into a fiance, and then the fiance turns into a wife, then yes, this applies. This doesn't apply to booty calls. This doesn't apply to smash and dashers. This doesn't apply to you know, sneaky links and things like that. This applies to real life relationships. If I was dating a man and I have him come around my son and I introduce them, okay, they're cool with each other, whatever. But then he moves in and he's paying bills. Now, you know, he's been upgraded. You know, he's the man of the house. He's leading the household. So he should be able to lead my son as well. And hold on, she's trying again. And the ideal thing that should take place, Mr. D, that I think should happen is, okay, perfect example. Let's say you and me start dating seriously. I would feel that I have to introduce you to my son's father.
Right.
And it's his right to know who he's going to have, what man is going to be around his son out of respect to my ex-husband. He has a right. And this is what a lot of ladies don't understand. A lot of ladies say, you better not have no kids around my other females and woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
But then when you have your boyfriends and you have your shit going on, it's okay for that man to be around your child, but the son's father don't even know who this cat is.
Yeah.
Don't know nothing about him. We cannot be so one-sided, ladies. And this is for y'all. This is really for y'all. And I'm gonna keep it real because y'all could be nasty. It's okay for you guys to do everything, but God forbid your baby daddy moves on and he has a girlfriend. Now all of a sudden he can't see his kids. Now all of a sudden you can't have my child around that itch, or you can't do this, da-da-da. Come on. You should be grateful that he has a woman to help you raise that child. Because I don't know, I know we come from the same era. Do you not still believe it takes a village?
It does. It does. It does. But unfortunately, that has been broken down now, right? So, but it does take a village to, you know, back in the days when we were growing up, you know, let's say you went outside to play, and if your neighbor saw you doing something bad, your neighbor would whip your ass.
And then you go home?
Then you go home and you get another ass whipping.
Thank you.
Right? That's how we grew up. Unfortunately, it's not like that now. Now it's, you know, especially if you're dealing with this step family situations. Oh, you're not my dad. You're not my mom. You can't touch me.
I'll call Child Protective Services. I'll dial 911. I'll do all of this. And I got Miss White here in the house. Hi, Odeline. How are you, my dear? Thank you for the support. Here I got Alton. He said these days people move in together within 6 months.
Oh, even shorter than that.
And you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. And it's sad because these young girls just let their kids around anybody.
Yep.
And they don't realize the danger, the potential danger that they can have put their children in. And this is why a lot of men on YouTube and the manosphere are going around convincing other men to not date single moms. We are our own worst enemy. All the messed up things that we do is shying away from men dating single mothers. Mm-hmm. So not only are you going to be single, but now you're going to be raising a bastard child. And yes, I'm using these words because I need you guys to be moved and get mad and think about the possibilities. But you know what, guys and ladies, all this could be avoided if you just marry before you carry. You know, get married first, then have the kids. Because at the end of the day, like, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, you're not going to do better than your baby daddy. And I mean, some women do luck out and do upgrade, but a lot of us don't.
But I think one of the problems is that when the baby daddy moves on, the woman, she doesn't want, you know, first of all, she has issues that she has to get over. Then for him to move on, that's a problem in itself, right? So there's still a lot of animosity, a lot of anger and stuff like that. And look, he could be, you know, the new woman that he's dating could be awesome. That's not going to matter, right? That's not going to matter. It's the fact that he moved on and he wound up getting somebody better, right?
But
So,
you know what's funny, Gary? 80% of women are the ones walking away from the relationship. So now listen to the insane road trip. So you have a baby daddy, he's there, he's willing to be there with you. Then you put him out, and then you get mad that he's moved on because you put him out, and now you don't want him to have a father in his life.
Exactly, right? Yeah, you see that?
You know, us as a culture, we are so much more concerned, and I hate to be so graphic, but I have to be this way sometimes in order for you guys to really understand what I'm trying to say. And this is why I keep my podcast 18 and over. We're more concerned in whose penis went to whose vagina versus the embetterment and the health of our children. We're only looking at the trees. We're not looking at the whole forest as women and baby bar. If your baby daddy's dating a woman and she's awesome and willing to take in that child and take care of them, why not embrace that? I'm not saying you got to be best friends with her. And it's funny that I'm saying this because I'm having deja vu, because this is a conversation that I had to have with my ex. I rolled up to her job and I had her set her straight. Because I heard my ex trying to talk to her and tell her, look, this, but she wasn't having it. So I had to do it myself and put my foot down. And it took 5 years and for her to remarry. But we're at a point now when we see each other, we hug each other. How you doing? It came to a point where we wouldn't even include my ex-husband. We would make the plans, and then we would let our ex, the ex know. And that's how it should be. And you know why that happened? Because I demanded a sit down. We sat at a conference table at a Dunkin' Donuts with her man, my man, and all 4 of us. It wasn't pretty, but you know what? We got some resolution. We were able to work things out. We both got married. She got remarried. He got remarried. There was no chance of anybody getting back together. So let's go. Let's do this. I'm helping you raise your son. He comes to the house every other weekend, summers, every other holidays. He's with us. And I always made it a point to make him feel part of the family. We took Christmas pictures together. He was in the picture. We went on vacations. He was there with us. I never made him feel like he was less, that I loved him less or took him for granted. And that's, as women, we need to start doing, because this is the children. And again, this is one of the repercussions. If you decide to have a baby daddy and you don't marry your baby daddy, this is what's going to happen. And I got some comments here. I got let's see. I got Miss Sheba said, hell yeah. I could hear her say that now. And then I got she said again 100. And then she's there goes my goddaughter. Say hi, Gotti. That's what she calls me. And then I got Joseph saying, you should always have your child or children best interests in mind. Joseph, I haven't started this, but if I had best comment of the night, I don't care what other comment comes in. This is one of the best comments. You should always have your child or children best interest in mind. But we don't. We get so, like you said, Mr. D, we get so carried away with our emotions and what the other woman is doing and what's happening that we lose track of that. And then my goddaughter said, my stepfather is amazing. And I got to put this out there, Mookie, but because I witnesses, my baby girl got some ass whoopings. She did. Okay. And now she is a awesome young lady. She's got a wonderful son and she's doing her thing. But you know what? She had that male influence in the house and he didn't put up with no shit. He loved her, but he loved her enough to discipline her. And that's why she came out the way she is. And the mother, sometimes she would be standoffish, but at the end of the day, she saw that it was necessary. She saw that it was necessary to ground her. She saw that it was necessary. And now my baby girl is awesome. You see what I'm saying? And then my girl Sheba said, period. And then Miss Cynthia Bell said, I am a product of having a stepfather. It is not easy. You see, everybody I associate with myself, I didn't even know. So I know you can't get on for some reason, Miss Bell, but you can always make your comments on here, just like you did. And I got Mr. Alton coming in because I know he's gonna bring the smoke. So come on, Alton, do what you do, sir. Are you there? You gotta unmute yourself. Okay, here we go.
You hear me
First
now?
of all, yeah, I can hear you. Before you start talking, I need you to introduce yourself and tell people where we can find you.
Well, my name is Coach Alton. I am an entrepreneur. I help people grow, protect, and save their money. I also help people with their credit to accomplish becoming a homeowner, get a car, and also get approved for the jobs that they are looking for. You can find me on Facebook at Alton Brown Jr. I will be the first person up top in a blue suit.
Yeah, this man goes suited up to a football game. He always in a suit, looking fly. But that's what, you know what? That's what gets him the attention and people. He draws people to himself. Miss Bell, can you hear me? You unmute yourself. You're on, and I see you moving. I just need. There we go. You just did it. You just did it. Unmute yourself. One more time. We're not giving up. There we go. Say something.
Hello.
Find me on Facebook at Alton Brown Jr. I will be the first person up top in a blue suit.
Okay, do we have a delay going on? Yeah, this man goes suited up to a football game. He always has a delay on. You hear the delay, G? You know what? That's what gets him the attention and people. He draws people to himself. Miss Bell, can you hear me?
Yes.
Unmute yourself. You're on, and I see you moving. I just need. There we go.
All right, I can hear you.
You just did it. Okay, so Miss Bell, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell people where we can find you. Say something.
Okay, I'm hello.
Brown Jr. I will be the first person up top in a blue suit.
Alton, if you're on YouTube on the 2 devices, it's running through. Just log out of everything and come back in. We always have a delay on. You hear the delay, G? You know what? That's what gets delay. And people, he draws people to himself. Do you guys hear it? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Unmute yourself. You're on, and I see you moving. It's repeating itself.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right, I can hear you.
I can hear you. I can.
Okay. Hold on. We're gonna get it right. Okay, unmute yourself, Miss Cynthia.
Hello. My name is Cynthia Bell. I'm an author, playwright, and I'm a product of being in a blended family. I grew up in a blended family, and let me tell you, sometimes it was hell. I got to be honest.
How was it hell, Miss Bell?
Well, you know, my mom married my stepfather, and I was the only sibling that had a different dad. So oftentimes it was thrown up in my face about my father because I came from an affluent family, and it was just a lot of stress. It was really a lot of stress with the other siblings. Not so much the stepfather, just the other siblings. I'm an author, playwright.
Okay,
And I'm a product of being in a blended family. I grew up in a blended family. Let me tell you, sometimes it was hell. I gotta be honest. I'm sorry?
I'm still hearing Alton.
Well, my mom married my stepfather, and I was the only one.
I hear a lot of feedback.
Had a different dad. So oftentimes it was thrown up in my face about my father because I came from an affluent family.
Okay, hold on.
It was just a lot of stress. It was really a lot of stress.
I'm back in, Miss Bell. Okay, it got quiet now, right? Gary, can you hear me? Unmute yourself, hon.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, there was a lot of feedback. I don't know what Alton did, but you know.
Yes, somebody has like another device on while they're talking, whether it's they're on their laptop or a phone, or if they got two phones.
Yep.
But somebody has another, you know, they're dealing with two devices.
Well, Miss Cynthia figured it out, so I know she's gonna come back up. But you see the great contact that we had. Hold on, I got a private chat. Let me see where. Okay, so how it could be very stressful, and then the question that I asked her, I can't wait till she answered it. Could her mother have done something to facilitate it and not make it so stressful for her? So
Well,
that's a good.
Let me say this. I mean, I too came from a step family. Like I had a stepdad, and me and my stepdad were like oil and water.
Why? Why do you think that was
What?
so?
Well, it was so it was I think it was because one, I wasn't his. But you know, growing up, I mean, things were okay. They weren't the best. But I always felt like he had this sort of resentment toward me. Did it make me go out and do crazy stuff? No. But I sensed something was up, and it was like my mom never, I think when things happened, she never defended me. But the two kids that she had with him, like they always got, like I was the black sheep. You follow me?
Did you ever talk to your mom about that in your feelings?
Absolutely, yeah, I did, and she would get an attitude. Like she didn't want to deal with the situation.
See, that's again.
She did, but
it's up to us. It's up to.
I know, but she didn't want to deal with the situation. She thought I was trying to. Well, she always tried to avoid it. Now she did have the conversation with me to tell me about my real dad. I guess she thought I was going to break down and cry and all of that, which none of that happened. But dealing with my stepdad, it's like him and I, like, just not like look, as I got older, we had an altercation and it was not good. Okay. It was not good, right? If it would have went down the way it would have went down, I would have been on death row. Okay.
Speaking of that, I got a good clip about that. But let me see if I can let Cynthia again in. I'm gonna try all night with you.
Well, she always tried to avoid it.
It's her.
Now she did have the conversation with me.
Device running YouTube.
To tell me about my real dad. I guess she thought I was gonna break down and cry and all.
I gotta remove. Okay, so speaking of that, I have a good clip that you're gonna laugh at. Watch. Hold on. I had to put this clip in because this shows what can happen. Oh, give me just a moment. Let me put it in. Son, because he's been. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Disrespectful young nigga.
What are your feelings on that?
It was wow. You know, it looked, from what I was seeing here, because I guess the screen wasn't moving, but it looked like the kid was trying to disrespect the dad.
Yeah, he's a disrespectful guy, son.
Yeah.
So he went out and got some boxing gloves. He's like, "You want to be disrespectful? You want to be grown? Let's fight it out." And look what happened.
Yeah, see.
And you know what the women were saying? As usual, oh my God, he could have split his head on the cement. He could have Don't you know if he was in a real fight, they would have still been kicking and punching him while he was on the
Absolutely, absolutely, right.
He didn't hit his head on the cement, and if he did, maybe it would have knocked some sense into him. But you see, this is what I'm talking about. We're so far away. I'm not condoning this at all, but these are the things that can happen if the parent does not acknowledge and address the situation. So to avoid all that, let's marry before we carry. Let's discuss and communicate this. If we do have a baby out of wedlock and with a baby daddy, and we're lucky enough to find another man that's willing to take care of our bastard child, let's go ahead and be grateful and do the right thing. And again, and I'm gonna say it, you must discuss the role of the discipline. You must stay on the same page, especially in front of the child. Any questions or disagreements should be brought up in private and away from the children. You cannot degrade and take a parent's power in front of the child, because they'll never respect that child. And then when something really blows up and, oh my God, Gary, you know, Jordan is acting up and I need you, you're going to be like, so what that got to do with me?
Right.
You know, you don't let me step up. You don't let me do nothing. Now because things are getting to DEFCON 4, now you want me to be in the game.
That's how it gets, unfortunately. Yeah. No,
and
you're
it could have been situations with you and your stepdad, and thank God that you were smart enough, or you had the emotional intelligence to not carry out what you felt inside.
I mean, it was, you know, it was like, as I was saying, like I was the black sheep, right? And it was just, as they say, the black sheep of the family. So it's like I had to fight 3 times as hard for everything, and it shouldn't have been that, you know. And my mom wasn't even defending me. So, and when you grow up with that, you know, you get kids who may get into bad things or have, you know, some serious issues. But I mean, you know, I was fortunate to be an old soul, so I understood what it was, right? And I have my moments, but in me having my bad experience, I know others that have great experiences where the stepdad and the stepmom did awesome, right? Where they stepped in and did what the biological mom or dad didn't even do, right? I had to fight 3 times as hard for everything.
The TV was bad.
No, and my mom wasn't even defending me. So
we're gonna get it.
Yeah. So you know, I've seen situations where the stepdad and the stepmom came in and they did awesome. You know, sometimes the biological parent is not or doesn't come from a disciplinary household, right? So they didn't even know what to do. Whereas you may have a stepmom or dad that may have come from that and understand that, so they know what to do.
I was lucky enough, Gary, where I dated a guy that had 2 sons. And it kind of gave me we dated for 2 years, and it gave me the experience of what kind of mother, a preview of what kind of mother I was going to be and what kind of stepmother I was going to be.
Okay.
When I did end up marrying my ex-husband and he brought a son to the equation, I kind of already knew the role because I've played it already. But you see what sucks about it? Out of the 3 boys that I helped raise, only 1 keeps in touch with me. And that's okay. Because I made a promise to them that I would never, ever change my number.
Right.
And they can always call me. Until this day, if one of them was to call me and say, Grace, I need this, I will come for them, because I've loved them and gave my heart, time, energy, and effort as if they was my own.
Right.
You know, I remember going on my stepson's first date with him. You know, well, not with him, but you know, the parents we met up with the parents and the girl, and then we all went to the movies, and we let them sit up front, and we were in the back, and they did their little thing. And I'll never forget that. And until this day, he still hits me up on Mother's Day. He still hits me up on my birthday. And that to me means everything. I don't have to talk to you every day. I don't have to talk to you all day. But the fact that you still remember me and acknowledge me, that's what matters the most, because that lets me know that I did my job. And now he's a grown man with his own children. Until this day, he still gives me my flowers.
Good. Excellent. Excellent.
You know, I'm kind of on the losing streak, 1 for 3, but that's okay. You know, they'll come around. And if they don't, that's okay too. That's okay too. But at the end of the day, I know that I did my job. And ladies, it's also very, very important that couples spend time alone strengthening and revitalizing their marriage.
Absolutely.
It's vital for the marriage, and it benefits the marriage and the children, because they take great comfort in seeing the commitment to one another. They've already seen one marriage fail, or relationship after relationship after relationship end. Some children even blame themselves for it, and their outlook on life each day would be greatly improved if they sense love and commitment between the mother and the stepfather at home. Okay, you and me are dating, Gary. If my son sees me showing you respect and giving you your flowers, he's not going to have no choice but to mimic me.
Right.
Especially if he knows you the one paying all the bills, you the one buying his size 14 shoes, you know, which you're not responsible for.
Right.
But what parent is not going to buy, a gift for a child at Christmas time or whatever? And with my son, it's either shoes or food, and that's it. He's happy. If you was to come and say, hey, come on, Jay, let's go to Chick-fil-A. Oh, you got him in the palm of your hand.
Right.
But again, ladies, this is really more for you guys. It is you that have to start the process to become a family unit. You bringing in a whole different man that's not their father into the house, that in itself is an issue. Not an issue, but that in itself is something that the child has to deal with. Now he has to deal with seeing that man every day, be with his mother, which is not their daddy, because at the end of the day, most kids always dream about their parents always.
Absolutely. Right. But I think also too, one of the other problems is nowadays, and I have a few female friends like this, where they have a teenage son, and every couple of months it's a new guy. I'm like, what? And a friend of mine I just told a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, wait a minute, you just started seeing this guy and you introduced him to your son already? I said, do you think that's okay?
And what do they say? I'm so curious to.
Well, she was like, well, I know I shouldn't have did it. But I'm like, wait a minute, you know you shouldn't have did it, but you did it anyway? Like, I don't understand that logic. Like, maybe I'm missing something, right?
Because they saw their mother do it.
Well, and see, that's the other thing, right? So, and see here, and so here, and that's something that I was going to touch on. Whereas some of these women, they see, it's repeated behavior, right?
And learned behavior.
Right. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's learned behavior. I had a friend about 10 years ago. She got into a marriage where it was abusive. After she left, she wound up breaking down. She talking to me and she was crying, and she was like, well, I stayed with him for so long and I let him abuse me because I thought he loved me, because that's what I saw happen to my mother. That's what she told me.
Yeah, but
I was dumbfounded.
That was love. That was her version in her head of what love was, because that's what she grew up.
That's what she saw. So you take that, and it's like these mothers, if they grew up in a household that's toxic and abusive, then they're gonna follow that. So at some point they're going to have to break the cycle, and especially if they're going to bring a child into the world and they're raising a child, because I don't think any responsible man or woman wants to raise their son or daughter like how they were raised, especially if they came out of a toxic environment.
Exactly. And we have Miss Bell. I guess it's okay, Miss Bell. We'll work the kinks out. She said, I think it's up to the parent to set the stage in the family of what is to expected. Absolutely. So, Miss Bell, with that being said, if me and Gary are dating and I have a son underage, it's up to me. Me and Gary need to talk about first. Well, how do you feel about this? Well, how do you feel about that? I need to learn his style of discipline, and he needs to learn my style of discipline, and we need to be on the same page. We need to be on the same page.
It goes back to having the real conversation. Nobody wants to do that anymore.
No, but you know why? You know why, Gary? Because everybody too busy doing this.
Exactly. That's right. That's right.
We don't know how to socialize. We're awkward. We are socially awkward.
Socially awkward. Yeah.
We don't know how to communicate anymore. We don't know how to do much of anything anymore. Then I got my blue hearts from Shiva, and then she came back and said, we are trying to learn that now. Elaborate on that. And then Ms. Bell said, the child or children must follow the rules of the house as a family member. Exactly. The rules apply to everybody, whether you baby number 1 from baby daddy number 2, baby number 3, and the new man comes in. Y'all set rules and everything must be followed. Everybody, no child is better than the other.
I agree. I totally agree.
That's the problem that most women have. It's all about their kids. It's all about their kids. No, it's not. Be grateful. Then Mookie said, which is my goddaughter, she said communication is key. And then yes, other times that does not happen. Ms. Bell, I don't think it happens. I would say maybe 10% of the time, especially in our culture. Okay? It does. We're not the Brady Bunch type of people. You see how great they made it look on the Brady Bunch?
Exactly, right. And the funny thing, when I was a kid, I thought that's what a family was. Like, I thought that's how it was supposed to be, right?
That is how it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, we let emotions and feelings and fuckery get involved, and we lose sight of what's important. Like Joseph said, that the best interest of the child.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But now we're dealing with people, parents having their own self-interest, right? So the self-interest of that mom or dad may come first. And what I will say, the mothers definitely have to be setting the stage, right? Because if this guy if you're in a relationship with this guy and he's becoming the stepdad to your children, then you have to really set the stage that your children are going to respect. And a lot of these women don't do that.
Right? They don't even do it to the biological father,
but
let alone a stepfather.
Right. So and here's the weird thing. So let's say the woman has four kids and 2 from different dads. So they expect the stepdad. Well, they expect the dad to come in and buy gifts for all the kids, right? And some of these and some of these men, they would be like, well, okay, I'm gonna take care of mine, right? So there's the whole divisiveness going on there. That doesn't work either, because now you get two kids seeing that, oh, their daddy gets them this, but our daddy doesn't do anything.
Yep,
and that shouldn't be.
And I did one of my shows that I did was about when the man came to the daycare center to give his son McDonald's, but didn't bring the other 3 kids McDonald's, and the girl went haywire and blasted him. Yeah. Just think, you guys, once you guys subscribe, go back and watch that video that I made, because it was interesting. Yeah. I mean, like, come on. What are the other fathers doing? You're expecting
exactly. Like, see, and here's the thing. if you and I, if we're in a relationship, if we're dating, right, and we're not living together, and something like that happens, yeah, I'm gonna bring, if you and I have a, okay, so if you and I have a kid, and you have another kid or two other kids, well, the dads of the other kids are supposed to do their job. So if I'm bringing, I don't know, McDonald's, Wendy's, I'm bringing it for my kid. Now, if we were living under one roof, I'd make sure everybody's straight. You follow me?
Absolutely. Hold on, Miss Bell. She like me. She ain't giving up. Miss Bell,
if you and I, we're in a relationship, if we're dating,
you
right?
have YouTube running in more than one device, Miss Bell?
Something like that happens, yeah, I'm gonna bring,
No.
Because I can hear Gary talking in the background.
And you have,
And
I'm in a different room.
Well.
But are you connected? Is your TV connected to YouTube, your phone, your computer?
No.
I don't know if McDonald's.
No.
I'm bringing it for my kid. Now, if we were living under one roof.
See, it is her because now I don't hear. You see what I'm saying?
So there's something on in the background. So if she's going to have to talk, she's going to have to turn down whatever's in the background.
That's okay. Keep trying. I ain't going nowhere, Miss Bell. But let me get to these comments. So I have Joseph that said the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You're absolutely right.
True.
Mr. Phillip came in. Welcome. Good evening, Miss Embrace the Grace. How are you, Mr. Phillip? I hope you press the like button. I appreciate you coming in, and your feedback and input would be highly appreciated. And then Miss Bell came in and said, in my second marriage, we talked about it. When the time came to deal with it, we had a problem. So you see, Gary, even with communication, there still can be issues.
Well, I mean, like, what kind of communicate? Like, I think they gotta, when you have the real communications, it's not supposed to be a bed of roses, right? I mean, if you feel that y'all need to, take down, if you know that you're gonna go have this conversation, then maybe you want to have a writing pad, write down some of the topics you want to discuss. I'm serious here. Where when you start to have the conversation, it's not always going to be rosy. You're going to touch on some challenging issues and stuff like that. But the work has to come in, right? So it can't be we're not just going to talk just to talk, especially if we're in a relationship or we're about to live under the same roof. Like this is part of planning our life together. So the conversation has to be real. It can't be one of those conversations to say, oh yeah, we just talked about it. Like, there has to be action after. You have to, you have to understand each other. You'll have to work together. And even after the conversation is done, whatever agreements that y'all have come to agree with, and not agreeing to say, well, okay, all right, because you said that, yeah, but it's like you have to genuinely agree on everything, or agree on the same page when it comes to, for example, the discipline, right? Don't tell me that you agree with me and you don't. Like, that's gonna make me angry. Like, I'm gonna have a real problem. Like,
or you take away my son's phone and you say for 2 weeks, and then I give him back the phone 3 days later.
Right.
I'm undermining you. Miss Cynthia, I think we got it now. Go ahead and
yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah. I can. And we hear no feedback or anything. I knew you wasn't going to give up.
Excellent.
Yes,
okay,
but
first go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are and where we can find you.
Okay, my name is Cynthia Bell. I'm an author, playwright. I write children's books, do plays, and those kind of things. I have the wellness company. I'm on. I have a YouTube channel as Life Term Pasta as well, and I'm on Facebook as well with my company name, Cynthia Wellness products. So I'm glad to be on. This is a topic that we're going to talk about later on because it's much needed. Because as I said before in my comment, this is my second marriage, and we both have kids. I mean, when we got married, they were grown. The problem doesn't change if they're small or grown. We talked about situations, but when the situations came upon us, we thought we had it under control, but we didn't, because it's just different. It's really hard. I listen.
That's why you can never say never. Oh, I'm never going to do this. But when it comes, let me give you a perfect example. Let's say me and Gary are dating and my son needs a car, but I need to co-sign for him. But then Gary suggests, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think maybe we could give him the down payment, but I don't think it's a good idea for you to co-sign that vehicle. Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, he's right. Because if my son can't make that car payment, who you think is going to be stuck making that car payment? Me. Which now in turn, I'm taking money out of me and Gary's pot that we're married to take care of my son. Now, if Gary agrees, I'm like, well, Gary, the boy needs transportation. He was like, okay, well, I'll give him 2,500. You give him 2,500. We good. You see, a solution can be made, but we cannot keep babying these kids and taking away from the marriage, because at the end of the day, once these kids leave the house, all we got is Miss Bell, all you got is your husband at home.
Right.
Yeah. But this is the thing, though. This is the thing. But I was married before. After my first divorce, I mean, I had making great money. I had my own stuff, and my girls, they saw we had our own stuff. So when I got married again, our stuff was combined. So my daughters were like, "Well, Mom, a situation came up like that about the car."
Okay,
my daughter was like, "Mom, you got your own stuff. You got your own money, your own job, your own credit. So you don't really need somebody else to agree with us." Because we being single for 13 years and now married, listen, every situation is hard. It's hard because I caught myself saying, "Oh, you know what? Hell, you're right. We had all this before him. I don't need no co-sign, no stamp of approval." And that was a mistake. It really was.
You see, and ladies, listen. You see, this is why Miss Bell and me and Gary are trying to teach the young heads to do better, because you know what, at the end of the day, it does affect you, Miss Bell, because it affects Mr. Bell's finances. It's not fair, especially if they grown. We can help, and Gary is not even really responsible. If he was gracious enough to give my son $2,500,
that's right.
My son should be humble enough to appreciate that, because if his own daddy ain't doing it and Gary's willing to do it, you see, we just emotions, and we don't see. It's just like, who gets plated first? Does the man of the house get plated first, or the children? To me, I'm always going to serve my man.
That's
old school.
Listen,
see, he bought the groceries in the house.
You struck a nerve there with that one.
Gary brought the groceries to the house. He brought the food in, so I'm gonna plate him first, and then the kids, because you know what? It was him that paid the bills. It was him that brought the food in. We got to show these men the respect that they deserve. He's gonna get the big piece of he's gonna get the biggest piece of chicken in the pot, because you and that's how I feel, and that's how I was raised, and that's okay, because I still got a lot of old school ways with a little modern twist. But these young girls, I can't even let them get them to learn how to boil water, let alone who they're gonna plate first.
But you know what? We as women, sometimes I believe that we think our kids are entitled to whatever decision whatever they want to do. I think as mothers, we think they're entitled. So we go on the deep end, and then it causes conflict in the home. And I'm talking from experience. I didn't read it in a book. I'm talking what happened in my own house. Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. And that's why I'm trying to open the eyes of these single mothers to be humble, to be grateful that a man is willing to come in and love you and love your children. And as a matter of fact, you see, we rolled right into that video. Hold on one second. I got another video I'm going to share with you. And this gentleman is going to discuss that it costs a man more money to date a single mom versus dating a woman without a child. And look, I got proof. Hold on just a second, guys. I got this video, share screen. See, Miss Bell, I had to learn how to do all this too. So, and I was having trouble the last time I had a show. Hold on. Come on, don't give me this internet issue now. Hold on. It is acting up. Give it just a minute. The name of the call, it says there are no benefits to being a stepdad. Hold on, play.
Let's.
Come on. It's that internet. Oh no, this is not the one.
So
Okay, it's okay. I'm not gonna get upset about it. Okay, well here's let me take that one off. Stop sharing. Share screen. Share screen. I got the goat here. This is my guy right here.
Okay, so I know that you said that should have legal, so I think that they should be held to the same standard as it relates to child support. Like, let's say you married somebody. Let's say me and you got married. I had a child out somewhere else. You were to that. Do you think that you should now be obligated to financially provide for that child when I were to get a divorce?
Are you getting child support from you're getting child support from the child's father?
Is that what in opinion is that what it is?
No, I'm saying, are you getting are you already getting support from the biological father?
Well, this is hypothetical, so answer for both ways.
Well, if you can't double dip.
Okay, so so what if it's like this? Do you think this is okay? I ain't got kids, so this is not, I have no, that the stepdad and the biological dad should pay half each? Or do you think just the stepdad or just the biological dad? How do you think about that situation where there are two parents and the stepdad also, and then the relationship dissolves for whatever reason?
I mean, okay. Ultimately, if you're a step parent, you're paying for a kid because you're paying rent, lights, groceries, everything else. You're paying for a child. So if the marriage dissolves,
like if they got divorced,
okay, again, who files for divorce?
Most women file for divorce.
If the mother walks, you get nothing.
Okay, so you walked. If we were married and you left, you think you should be financially obligated to my previous hypothetical child that I had?
But but then in that situation, if you're married to me and I leave, I'm taking my child, and you're going to have to get visitation.
Okay, so you're saying that you should be able to.
I'm saying that if I'm going to have to come in and play dad, I should be dad.
Okay.
See,
so
the
you
bottom
have
line is the only way we're losing this situation is that they walk out of their marriage.
Okay.
Don't
so
leave, no
fight.
problem.
You want to fight this.
Woo. Okay, so he said something there that touched me. If I'm gonna play dad, then I'm gonna be dad. we can't bring him in the game at our convenience. And that's what a lot of women nowadays have a habit of doing. And that's not right. It's not fair, because the other clip that I wanted to show you, the gentleman was talking about, you see, if I date a woman with a child, I would have to get a 2-bedroom apartment versus a 1-bedroom apartment. It's costing me money to date you because you have a child and I don't even have children. So not only are we being disrespectful and disingenuous to somebody who's willing to come in and take care of our children, and as women, we have to stop. I'm not saying that all women are like this. I'm not one to generalize, but it happens more often than not. And we need to stop, because these children at the end of the day need love and need to thrive in an unhostile environment. And again, it starts with us. It starts with the biological parent. Gary may be a single dad, and he may be bringing in a kid, and we're dating. You know, he has to do his homework and find out what I'm about and how I raise. Because, and then let's say he has a teenage daughter and I have a teenage son. Now we got 2 teenagers of the opposite sex raised up in the same household, which is, you know, volatile. And then a lot of parents, well, they have a teenage daughter. It's nothing for a man to lose his whole life. All that daughter has to say is, he touched me.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Are you going to believe the husband, or are you going to run and believe the daughter right away? So at the end of the day, all I'm asking you young ladies and single moms is to be more humble, be more grateful. Look at the fact that he's trying to come in and love you and your children, and not be so demanding and self-entitled. And then the first, I don't know, Miss Cynthia, if you saw the first clip that I played, where the mom was disrespecting the stepfather with the 29-year-old. Come on, you're 29 years old.
Yeah, but no. Grace, but check this out. Now, the one of the man said that if he walk out of the marriage, now he said that he would take his biological child with him. Is that what he said?
Yes, he did, because he believed in that.
Now, if my marriage dissolved and I'm brought in my children, and my husband, for whatever reason, we get a divorce. Now, I'm one of these people. When I'm done all the way around. The circle, when I'm done, when the relationship is done.
Well, what if you have kids?
But that's way off. I mean, it would be a miracle, but my kids are grown. I mean, okay, what I'm saying is, from my perspective, when I got married, my kids were in college. So I can't think that far back as to if they were little. You know what I mean? Because if a situation happened right now, done is done. I mean, if they want to have a relationship with Johnny, that's fine, but that's not something that I'm going to pursue. You understand? Does that make sense? Yeah, I mean, I'm done. But if smaller kids, I don't know. It's just, whew.
Well, this is how I set myself up. First of all, I don't date any man that doesn't have his own place, because you're not coming to my house. I'm not bringing you around my son until I'm ready. I have to see how you move. I have to see how you act. You want an angel? You must create a heaven for me and my child. Okay? Then if we come to the point where I'm not comfortable with you, then slowly but surely, I will introduce you to my son. And I'm always doing a mental check with my son, because at the end of the day, I'm not saying that I will always pick my son over my man, because if I'm married, and it's a touchy situation, and it depends on the situation, but I'm not always going to jump on my son's side. You know, and a lot of mothers tend to do that, just like that mother did in the first clip. It was not necessary for her to snap at him like that in front of her son. At 29 years old, you need to remove him from the house. The man want to walk around naked. You know, the man want to go in the refrigerator butt naked and make a ham and cheese sandwich, but he can't do that because he knows the kid has a key to the house and can come and go as he please. And then she had the audacity to say, well, you can leave. knowing you need that man to pay those bills, but you want to nut up in front of your son and be super mom. But at the end of the day, your son ain't really doing shit for you. And that's what we have to stop. We have to stop acting so hard, and we have to stop acting like we don't need nobody, because at the end of the day, we all need each other.
Exactly.
Especially our children in the world that we're living today. So exactly. You see, the dog even co-signed it.
Oh, you heard the I'm in my bed. I'm sorry.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That was perfect timing. He co-signed it. But I'm so glad that you guys came on this panel. Ms. Bell, you was trying and you got on, and I'm grateful. But let me go through these comments real quick. I got Ms. Garcia said we have to set boundaries. Also, relationship is work. Common ground is a good start. Like, I won't date now at my age. I won't date a man that has little kids, 2, 3, 4 years old. I'm not starting over.
No.
You gotta be either, it's gotta be 11 and up. 11 and up. They can bathe themselves, clothe themselves, talk for themselves. You know, it's still gonna be work for me, but it's not gonna be as much intense. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you have to set your boundaries. At my age, I'm not playing stepmama again. Unless you're 11 age, I would prefer teenager, but you know, it is whatever God hands me, I'm a take. So then she said again, life is a living lesson to be taught by all. Absolutely. And we can all learn from each other. The only time we stop learning is when we're no longer here. Every day. And I always tell my son this, just because you're only 16, that doesn't mean I don't learn from you. He has taught me some things.
Right.
He'll tell me, Mom. You know what I'm saying? Because and sometimes he's the voice of reason, even at 16 years old. Mm-hmm. And you have to respect that. Because some teenagers have more wisdom than some us old heads. Trust me. Yeah. And then Ms. Sheba said 100%. So with that being said, guys, I'm not going to drag it. You know, I did all my clips. Only one didn't show up. So I did better, Gary. That's progress, right?
Yeah,
that's
progress.
That's progress. Well, I'm proud of myself. Ms. Bell, it was such an honor to have you here. I'm glad you didn't give up. Yeah, yes. I knew you wasn't going to give up. I know your personality. I'm like, Gary, she's not going to stop till she get in.
It was nice meeting you, Gary. It was nice to come on. And I enjoyed the conversation and the feedback. And yeah, it was great. It's much needed. It really is. In a bigger form, it's much needed because relationships are falling apart. Kids are going astray. And it's so much needs to be connected.
And that's what I do, Ms. Bell. I talk about the uncomfortable conversations, the conversations that people don't want to have. I like them. Bring the smoke.
Me too.
Let's talk about it. And that's why when I saw you on YouTube and I got on your show and, you know, started making comments, I'm like, oh, we have to collaborate.
Yeah.
You know, because
listen, before I go, okay. I'm going to be on Wednesday and my topic is girlfriend status with wife duties, boyfriend status with husband duties. Mm. We got to get back to what needs to be done. And I'm hoping that some men jump on the line, and because we got it wrong. I think we got it wrong.
What time Wednesday? Because that's
8:00 on Wednesday.
Okay, well I'm subscribed to you, so I'll get the notification. But that's a good one. But I don't know if you're going to agree with me or not. But we're going to wait till Wednesday.
But that's okay. We can agree to disagree. All I'm doing the same thing you're doing. We're creating a talk. Mm-hmm. You know, to open our mind, to broaden our horizon and say, you know, there's another way to do this or that. You know?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Tell us one more time quickly where we can find you, because I need people to go subscribe. Guys, follow Ms. Bell, subscribe, like, and share, because she's a wonderful.
Right. Well, it's As Life Turns podcast, YouTube, and also Cynthia Wellness Products on Facebook as well. But follow me and tell somebody to join us on Wednesday. I'm already getting a lot of feedback already, because you know what? Now the church, I'm gonna say this before we go, the church doesn't talk about it. We all have family members, friends, we know girlfriend status, wife duties, no, vice versa. Okay.
So, Ms. Bell, that's so funny that you say this, because here are my notes, and it says here, what does God say about finding a wife, and what purpose did God create Eve? So I'm
Woo!
ready.
Woo!
I'm ready. You see how God does his things? I already got my notes for your show on Wednesday. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, listen, you all have a great night, and I will talk to you soon.
Okay, my dear. Thank you so much for coming.
All right.
I'll see you Wednesday.
All right, sweetie. Bye-bye.
Bye, honey. Oh, she's fabulous. She really is. She really is. Gary, I was great in her plays. It was really good.
Excellent.
The first play, I played the mother of a teenage boy. And then the second play, I was the leading role of a gold digger dating a basketball player. So
Cool.
That was fun. That was really fun. So go ahead, Gary. Go ahead and close out with any thoughts and input that you have. Again, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I really enjoyed your podcast on Friday. I was very engaged. But you got to tell your people to check the comments on YouTube. I tend to be more on YouTube than on their Facebook. And I laughed when he tried to pronounce my last name. It reminded me of nobody could ever say it right. I used to call Poppy or Papilla. So that's why I said, hey, it's Grace from Embrace the Grace. Yeah. So go ahead and close out your final thoughts and whatever you have to say, my dear.
Well, first, I definitely want to thank you for having me on again. You definitely have my support. I mean, as long as if I'm home before 8:30, I'll always be checking in.
I know that's right.
But this was a great topic. I think this definitely needs to be talked about more. It's definitely, we have to have the uncomfortable the real uncomfortable conversations. You have to have those to make any type of progress. I think that I think that with this situation, like with all relationships, communication. For real communication is
communication, not no sugarcoat shit. Right.
You want to have the real communication. That will avoid a lot of stuff from in the beginning. That would avoid a lot of stuff. But again, many people, they don't want to have that. They want to maybe tell you what they want to tell you, what you want to hear. And that's not what it's about.
With the flow, right? Or we'll deal with it as it comes. No.
Yeah, and that's not what it's about. I mean, if this is someone that you're going to spend your life with, or you're looking to spend your life with, or you're putting your emotions and feelings into, then yeah, you have to have the real conversation.
And I agree with you.
So you could catch me Thursday nights. So there's 2 podcasts that I actually do. The first one is called The Control Room, every Thursday night. It's on the Boardwalk Global Media YouTube network. Okay. So you can catch us on you can catch us on YouTube. I put the link in the chat. The second podcast I do is called The Real Discussion, which is Fridays from 8 to 10 p.m. We get viewers from all over the world. And we have basically what we do. We talk about not only the trending topics, but we have a relationship segment every week. So, and in doing the real discussions, we're about, that's one of the reasons why me and my partner Rock created the show, to have the real conversations, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's about relationships, politics, daily life, it's the real uncomfortable conversations. The stuff that you're not going to hear on mainstream TV or mainstream news, right? So we have those type of real conversations, and we like hearing from everybody. We, like I said, we get a lot of feedback from not only people here but people overseas. And I think that's it. But again, Grace, I want to thank you. You have my 1,000,000% support. I love what you're doing here. And anything that I could help to, make you grow, I definitely will.
I know, and you already, just by your presence, that means the world to me. And I know more is to come. And again, guys, I am Grace from Embrace the Grace. I want to thank everybody that participated, that showed up, pressed the like button, cashed out, whatever. I just appreciate you coming in. And guys, I'm usually here Mondays at 8:30. I am going to be a little bit more active. I'm dropping a lot I am on Instagram, Snap, WhatsApp.
I see you. I see
TikTok.
you out in these social media streets.
Yep,
I see you.
because I'm trying to grow. And if anybody knows me, I loved me some Kevin Samuels. I know his methods weren't the best, but his intentions were good. He was trying to unite the community, trying to get us back into the family unit. And I'm behind him, even though he cooked me when I spoke to him. At the end of the day, yeah, I was on his show. I spoke to him, Gary. That's my first.
I think I saw that. I saw something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first show that I did. You know, and he grilled me one, but you know what? He gave me the push that I needed to start this show.
Well, there you go. I mean, I think, Kevin is like, I totally understood. I understood what he was doing. I, disagreed with a couple of things, but but he was having the real conversations, right? The real conversations. And the real conversations is not always going to make you feel all warm and fuzzy.
Exactly.
Right?
It's gonna
but you gotta have the real conversations. And I think that with him, he put a lot of what he was saying about women were true, right? And not only that, but the perspectives. And see, this is what a lot of women, they I guess in their own mind, they're thinking whatever, but he's putting it out there. Like when a certain level of a man has choices,
why does he got to put up with bullshit?
Why they got it right? No responsible, respectable, well-to-do man is going to put up with bullshit or nonsense. None.
And then
they only do it to women women only do it to guys that they can get away with.
Yeah, but when they get a real one and check them, now it's a problem.
But come on, and I've dealt with that, right? Because I'm the real guy. Like I'm that real guy. They want a guy that could talk and listen and be and that's a man. And all of that, I'm that guy. And when they meet me, they always fold. Because it's not like you can't talk about it. Then when it happens,
not be about it. I hear
right?
you. I hear you.
Right. So anyway.
But thank you so much to my viewers, my subscribers. Gary, I really do appreciate you. I'll be there. I don't know what I work Thursday, but I know I'm definitely Friday I work 2 to 11. I picked up an extra shift. But that's okay. I mean, that's okay. I'll sneak in and out and see.
Okay, all right.
So you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Again, thank you for coming, and you all embrace the topics we talk about. Have a good night, guys. Bye, Gary.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, hon. And Brock.